The title of this mini podcast is Levels of Engagement. Seems to me that we engage others on 3 levels. I've labeled them as 1, purpose, 2, no purpose, 3, purposeful. The purpose level is pretty straightforward. We have an agenda in mind before engaging with this person. The reason I'm calling or the reason I dropped by are the overt signs of an engagement that has a purpose. No purpose is calling, visiting, or writing a friend or family member with no agenda in mind, other than to just touch base. This is the mainstay of engagement that keeps cell phone companies and email providers alike in business. Purposeful engagement rarely happens, and it is the most powerful of the 3. Purposeful engagement has no agenda and takes you deeper than any social hookup. What is purposeful engagement? It's the ability to interact with others where you reach past the words and touch each other in a common space. It's as though you both entered a sphere where your words can't be heard, and there is a melding of spirits. Lots of communication happens here, but oftentimes it can't be articulated in words. How do I get me some of that? The same way my musician friend Ned got to Carnegie Hall. Practice. Purposeful engagement can happen within the confines of the other 2. It's just a case of remembering to be purposeful. You can start being purposeful when you notice that you have a precise agenda for an interaction, and then just let it go. At first, this seems like working without a net. It's scary and unfamiliar. There are going to be many natural pregnant pauses in that interaction, which can make you uncomfortable. Let them be. This is the space that gives the participants the opportunity to breathe each other without having to fill it up with the words of purpose or no purpose. Reminds me of a story. The first time I did this was by accident. It was some 35 years ago. I was pitching an employee communications program to the owner of a propane gas company. I did all the usual rapport building one would do and began my presentation, which had a purpose. There was a lot of back and forth, along with a lot of questions about content and the expected results of the program. It was all pretty routine until he asked me this question. How will I know I've enhanced my employees' communication skills? Ha! I had a ready-made answer for him, but for some oddball reason I didn't bring it out. I just let the question hang in the air for what seemed to be an eternity. It may have been no longer than 10 seconds, but in a setting like this, that's a long time for silence. I just sat quietly, and then this question popped out of my mouth. Why do you think your employees hate you? Oh my God. His eyes widened, he sat up straighter, and he looked at me as though I had visited his soul. He asked me, "How do you know that?" I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was on the lines of, well, I just had a hunch. This piece of information may have never surfaced unless the interaction got purposeful. The good news for both of us was we got what we wanted. He learned to communicate versus hallucinate, and his employees learned some new fun and useful stuff. Me, I got paid, and in the bargain, I get a bigger payday than money can buy. A sense of purposefulness. I suggest you take the time to throw in the clutch once in a while and shift into a purposeful gear. This journey will take you into unfamiliar, unmined territory that's loaded with precious ores that can't be experienced by staying on purpose. All the best, John.